So here we have a sample program that uses Lambdas. Now let's go ahead and use the Chronon time traveling debugger to see what this program does and try to debug it. So we'll go ahead and first run this program with Chronon enabled. And now that it has run, let's go ahead and open the recording. So what this program does is initially it assigns a bunch of random numbers, 500 to be exact, to an array. And if you see this green line on the left, what it basically shows you is the execution path of this particular call to this method. So you can tell easily that, okay, this line was hit 500 times and this was hit 501. We can actually just click directly on the line to jump to it, and we can see the calls that were on this line. You can see the random number that was generated was 770 here. But what is more interesting is this run method, which basically takes this array and it calls the for each method on list, which takes a lambda, and the lambda basically checks if the number is even or odd. So we place our cursor inside the lambda and we right click and we select run to method forward in time, and now we are inside the lambda. And all the other views have changed to reflect that. So you can see the stack trace view, and of course you can click on any stack frame to just jump directly to that frame, and of course the local variable view, and again this changes as I change the stack frame. Now in a traditional debugger, it's really tough to debug a lambda like this because you have this huge list, 500 numbers, and how are you going to debug it? Are you going to place a breakpoint to see what happens on the 33rd iteration? You don't even know which iteration the bug occurs. Are you going to put a conditional breakpoint? Well, you don't know what the condition is. So let's see how you would look at this inside Chronon. So the method history view shows me all the calls that were ever made to this method. And here we can see the argument and the thread that the call was made on, and you can see all of them. And of course I can click on a particular call and it'll jump directly to that particular call, to that method. So if I click on this call with 491 value, you can see it just jumped directly to it. The local variable has changed. Even the execution path has changed. So 491 is odd, so you can see the even line is not highlighted, but the odd one is. Now if I pick an even number, you can see the even line is highlighted and the odd one is not. So you can see it's jumping directly to that particular call. Let's go ahead and do something more interesting. Let's print out all the numbers that were passed. So we'll go ahead to this post execution logging view, and we'll add logging to this method after it has run. So let's print out all the numbers. So we'll print out the number argument here. We added that logging statement and we press run, and of course we can see all the numbers that were printed out, well, that were passed to this lambda. Actually, this program doesn't print out which were the even and which were the odd numbers. So let's modify our logging statement, and we'll say instead of method entry, we'll put this statement on this line number 25, and we'll say even number, and let's put another one for line number 27, and we'll call it odd number. Okay, and then when we hit run, it's as if the logging statement was present in the actual execution of the program. So we can see, okay, these were the evens and these were the odds, and of course I can click on any line of output and it'll take me exactly to the point in time instantly when this method was called. So I can see I clicked on odd 205 and the local variable window shows that this is the argument that's passed to this call, and the execution path shows yes, it was indeed an odd number that was passed. And of course I can click on an even number like 756, and again I've jumped to that particular call, to that method. If I want to see what is happening outside my lambda, again I can click on this the stack frame, and I'm back in my outer method. And remember, even if I start stepping back and forward, like I can step back here, it doesn't matter because I'm in a time traveling debugger. It's like being in a browser. I can click this back in history button and I'm back in my Lambda. So you never have to think about what happens if you run forward in time too much, or if you browse away from your code, because you can always get back to where you were when you were debugging.